Okay, is there I think last Nikita, you were having the problem with the installation. So have you done that? Installation of, yeah, you have done that. Great. It means we all have installed SQL. So no problem at all. Okay, then we can get started. Okay. Still people are not there fully. We have only 14 attendees. Okay. I will upload something on LMS. I would request everyone to please open that. And also, if you have all in one zip, then you will see that there is some PDF in that particular folder. Let me just show it to you. Okay, so we are going to cover SQL. Okay. Data analysis using SQL, structured query language. Okay. So we are going to understand some theoretical concepts and we will do a lot of practical in these 18 hours. Okay. Practice will be more on the side of working on the real world data. Okay. There will be another case study that I'm going to introduce you so that you can learn SQL techniques. And the folder that I provided you all, like this all in one zip, which you will find in your LMS, okay, which have everything till now we have covered. I have given few things like SQL Basics, SQL Cheat Sheet, SQL Optimization, SQL Query Optimization Learning. Okay, wherein the most important is this SQL Basics. So I want from everyone, please acknowledgement, please do acknowledgement on this particular document. So I will open this also. Please go to that LMS and download that zip in the previous to previous class, and you will find the all in one zip. Open that zip and you will find a file name as SQL Basics, 58 pages. Okay, this is really important to start our curriculum. So please do let me know if you are able to find that. You got it, Vishnu? And guys, I'm repeating this too many times. Like, please review the lectures. Okay, why you all not reviewing the lectures? Please do review the lectures. Okay, and you will find all in one zip. Okay, this is uploaded for both of the both of the batches. Okay, So there is all in one zip, which you will be able to see that. This all in one zip will have everything. Okay. In that zip file, you will extract first of all, and after extracting it, you will get a SQL Basics file. Okay, you got it. Thank you. You got it. That's great. So please do acknowledgement on the same. That's great. Everybody has it. That's great. Okay, then. Fine. Let me just open a whiteboard and also parallelly open this PDF. Okay. Now, let's just start. What is SQL? Okay. SQL is structured query language. It is used for storing, managing data in relational database management system. Okay. So you all understand what is a SQL? SQL is a structured query language. It's altogether a language, just like a Python is a language. So structured query language is it's a language for working on databases, in simple words. Okay. It is a standard language for relational database system. Okay. It enables user to create, read, update, and delete relational databases and table. Okay. So let's first of all understand the book definition. What is relational database in layman terms? Yeah. Okay. So as the word says, relational database is a type of database that store and provide access to the data points that are related to one another. Okay. Relational database are based on relational model, an intuitive, straightforward way of representing data in tables. Okay. When you store data in tables and the data are linked with each other, okay, that it's called a relational database. Yes, correct, Mukesh. Okay, now come back to the PPT. So SQL is a standard language for all relational database systems. Okay, so it could be possible that there is software 1, software 2, software 3, and all of these three softwares are based on relational database system. Okay, so in all these softwares, you will use SQL because SQL is a standard language for relational database system. Okay, now what you can do with this? Okay, you can query. Now, what is a query? Query is, in simple words, it's like a question. Okay, we use query a lot of times. What's your query? So query is like, what's your question? So there could be a lot of questions. Okay, we will say them as a query, where there will be a lot of queries. And in order to write those queries, you need a specific language. Okay, you need a very specific way of writing those queries, and you will pass these queries to the database. Okay, and database will process that query and give you output. Okay, so it's that simple. Okay, so you can assume all this as like you are going to a specific customer representative service. Okay, and customer representative services has mentioned that you have to talk in a specific language, or you have to talk in a specific way, or coding. Okay, I would say that encoding, and the language that you will use to interact with that customer representative will be a specific language which you both agreed on the same. Okay, for example, you will say that for help you will like raise two fingers. For thank you, you will use this particular way. So everything is decided, everything is coded. Okay, for any kind of messaging, and you both agreed on the same thing, and now you are using that particular sign language for the same person, and the person will understand that, hey, I decided with this person that this means thank you, this means help me, something like that. So it is that language. Okay, so what are those softwares that understand relational database? MySQL, Informix, Oracle, MS Access, SQL Server use SQL as their standard database language. Okay, and why we use this language? For querying. What is a query? Query is just like a question. Okay, who is going to use this query? The person who has the questions. So you as a user has questions. So in order to ask these questions, you will use a specific language that you and database has decided to use for questioning. So you will use SQL language for that communication of question and answer. Okay, and SQL language is very easy. It is very much English-like statement. Okay, English-like statements, nothing very complicated. So therefore, as I said, SQL is a kind of a language which both the parties has agreed upon. Okay, both the parties have agreed upon, and they have agreed upon a specific kind of sign language or a simple computer language. So there will be certain rules also, because the receiver of the queries has to be has given some rules, and you have to follow those rules when you are querying, when you are questioning this particular database management system. Okay, so this whole class in our 18 hours will be dedicated to learn those rules. Okay, which rule to apply it when. Okay, if you have a particular set of questions, then what kind of query you will write, or what kind of language you will write. All those syntax, all those rules will be explained to you in that upcoming classes. Okay, so all this theoretical knowledge that I have given to you with the related to relational database, with the related to relational database system, is it all clear? Aisha, Divya, thank you. Vishnu. Okay, great. Some more responses. Nikita, thank you. Okay. Now, as we also learn that in relational database management system, data is stored in tabular format in row and column. Okay. So therefore, the rules to extract particular information from tables has to follow the row and column structure. Okay. Because data is stored in row and column in a table format. Okay, so you understand a row and column structure. I think it's very easy. No, I don't need to explain what is a row and column in a table. Thank you, Atya. Thank you, Pooja. Thank you, Aisha. Okay, now what are SQL? SQL follow the following rules. As I already mentioned, there will be certain rules. SQL is not case sensitive. But generally, for our better understanding, people try to write in uppercase. Okay, but you can write in small case also. So it is not case sensitive. Okay. Statement of SQL are dependent on text line. We can use single SQL statement or one or more multiple text lines. Okay. So it means that you can write a single statement, long statement, giving instructions, or you can write line by line. Okay. So it is very much saying like that you have written a paragraph and you haven't written a next line. You're just continuously writing sentences and sentences in one line. Okay. Or you can write by breaking into several lines so that it's more aesthetically looking good. Okay. Using SQL statement, you can perform most of the actions in the database. Okay. Now, we talked about relational database. Okay. But let's break the relational also. Relational and database. What is a database? Database is a collection of lot of large tables. What are table? Table are the tabular representation of putting your data into row and column structure. Okay. And by a collection of large tables, you have databases. Okay. So you can perform most of your actions in a database using SQL statement. So what is a purpose of a database? Okay. Just like storage, a reservoir. What is the purpose of storage? A very big storage. Storage is to store your data. And whenever you want it to be accessed. So your database or storage should be accessible. Okay. It should be accessible. So here also your database should be accessible with the help of SQL statements. This line might be confusing right now. Okay. But you will understand once you go into the classes. Okay. SQL depends on tuple relation, calculus, and relational algebra. Okay. So this is a little complicated, but let's leave it for the next classes. You will understand. What is SQL process? When an SQL command is executing for an RDBMS system, then the system figure out the best way to carry out the request, and the SQL engine determines that how to interpret the task. Okay. So this is all about executing that particular statement. Now we will use this a lot of time, that SQL statement. Okay, so SQL statement is nothing but an instruction given to the database in a SQL language. Okay, so let's say in our example that I shown, that I will talk to customer care executive while using sign language. So this 5 means hi means thank you. Okay. This means help me. Okay. So every time I'm using this particular sign language, I will say that is a statement. Okay. So whenever you are using one of your sign languages for your communication, you can also say that as a one statement. So this is my one statement. This is my another statement. Okay. So you will and similarly in SQL also you will hear a lot of time SQL statement. So SQL statement are nothing but the instructions given to the database from the user. Okay. It's more talking about how the technical working of processing of your statement happens. Okay. So this is more if you wanted to learn more about the SQL processing, but our agenda here is to understand more on the what are those statements that we can use for different kind of operations in database. Okay. But if you are learning higher or you are learning to know that how actually it happens, then you should be stress upon SQL process. So SQL process starts with this query language itself. So the query that you generate or the statement. Okay. So that particular statement is being processed by a query language processor. Okay. Then it goes to the DBMS engine and it goes to your tables. Okay. While there are some, I would say intermediate processes that happen like parser plus optimizer. And here in the DBMS imager, file manager plus transaction manager. So this is very technical stuff if you wanted to know the how the queries take place. But our problem is to know what are those queries for different operations. Okay, so let's focus upon that. But before that, what are the advantages of SQL? High speed, no much coding is required because it is more like an English statement. So like from a coding point of view, it's not that hard. Okay. It has everything very well defined standards. Okay. Portability. One SQL language written can be also work on the other software also. Okay. It's a interactive language. Okay. And you can create multiple views of the data. Okay, so these are some advantages of SQL language, the structured query language. Okay, what are the SQL data types? So because SQL is working on a database, and database is nothing but a collection of tables. And what is a table? Table is a row and column. What you store in a row or column? Your data. And what are the data types? Your categorical, continuous, and in your continuous you have discrete also. In your quantitative, and in your qualitative data you have nominal and ordinal. Okay, so we can see that here also the same thing. Either you have binary data type, either 1 or 0, your numeric data type, extract numeric data type, okay, string data type, and date data type. Okay, so it is the same thing that you have learned so far about the data type. It can have numeric or it can have like words also. Now, what is the SQL command? SQL command are the instructions. Just like an I example given you. Let's say I have decided with the customer executive that we will talk in sign language. So this means thank you, and this means help me. Okay, so I can also say that I'm giving commands or I'm giving statements. Okay, or I'm giving the SQL commands like that one. So SQL commands are the instructions. It is used to communicate with the database. It is also used to perform specific tasks, function, and queries of data. For example, me and that customer representative have decided that whenever I'm showing this and this, it means provide me something. Okay, provide me that data, something like that. Okay, so I can use the sign language in order to not only communicate, but in order to perform something. Okay, or take actions. So what you can do with the SQL languages, create a table, add data to the table, drop the table, modify the table, set permissions for the user. Okay. So with these things, we can do like this statements. Now, what are the types of SQL command? Okay. So SQL commands are divided into 4 parts. DDL command, DML command, DCL command, TCL command, and DQL command. Okay. So these are the type of commands that you can provide to the database. DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. Now, what is the full form of them? So DDL stands for data definition language. DML stands for data modification language. Okay. DCL stands for data control language. Okay. TCL stands for transaction control language. And DQL stands for data query language. Okay. Now, one of the most widely used are DQL, DML, and DDL. Okay. DCL and TCL commands are very rarely used, and because they have a very specific function, only the administrators have that access to use the DCL and TCL. Okay. While for the normal users, okay, for the analysts, the most important type of commands is the DQL, DML, and DDL. Okay. So data definition language stands for DDL. DML stands for data modification language, and DCL is for that data control language. Okay. And DQL stands for data query language. Okay. So you can see that what are those commands? Okay. What are the starting of the commands? You can see that select, create, drop, alter, truncate. In DML, it is insert, update, delete. So all these are the the button for the commands to happen. Okay. So with these particular words, you can initiate that particular kind of command. Okay. Now till now, am I clear on this? Are we clear on this? Is there any doubt that you can answer? No, select command is in DQL. Mukesh, you can see that select is a data query language. You cannot modify with that. Okay, Mukesh, is that doubt clear? No, it cannot be. It's something. Let me just do it for you. It cannot happen. Okay. Select is an select is DQL. Okay. When you write star into, then it is a DML. But select by its nature, it is DQL. Yeah. Yeah, I think TCL, I just mentioned TCL commands. Transaction control language. Okay. Commit, rollback, save point. So this is more, we are not covering these commands in our curriculum. You can see that. We have DDL command, DML command, and even they don't have mentioned the DQL, which is very important, but I'm doing it from my own. Okay. We only have to cover these, but I'm covering the DQL also. While TCL and DCL are not in our curriculum because they are more of an admin role when it is being taught to the administrators. Okay. So guys, let's just let's take a short break and then we will gather back. I think we are taking this break early. Okay, then afterwards we will not take a break. Okay, then it will be a direct go on. Okay, so let's just meet after a few minutes. Okay, we'll start now. Okay, so how many of you in this batch have idea about SQL? You can also mention the percentage, like you 20%, 50%. Mukesh has, okay. How much percent, Mukesh? If you wanted to give a number, 50, 60%. That's good. What about others? Ayush, 60, 70%. But okay, Nikhil, I have 5% idea. Okay, interesting. Okay, what about others? Zero. I don't have any idea. New. Okay. Pooja has 30% idea. Great. Vakas, I took some you no idea how much percentage. Okay, that's also fine. Okay, I totally understand. So that's fine. That's fine. What about the other student? Like I didn't got the full response. Like I didn't got from Andre, Tilson, Taufik. What about these people? Yeah, Andre, I asked the question that um, if you were to give a number, like how much you know SQL, if you have been doing any SQL in the past, then what that particular percentage will be? Like 10%, 20%, 5%, 2%. Okay, that's an impressive number. That's impressive number. Yeah. What about Taufik? You did some SQL 25 years back. 25 years back. Okay. I just thought that it would be like kind of a typo error, but you mentioned 20 years back. Fine. Yeah. Anyways, it's very high. Yeah. Yeah. Fine. So a lot of talking now. Let's do some work. Okay. SQL. Okay. Okay. We will focus on this one only. Okay. Okay. This is our interest area. What are the full form? Okay. Data definition language, data modification language, and data query language. Okay. We are going to do that. Now, understand each and every one. Okay. But before that, let's focus on the one thing that we learned so far, the memory. Okay. Where our actual data gets stored. Okay. Let's bring that particular concept again. I can teach what career era have given me permission to teach. Okay. So career era has given me these things to clear. Okay. Okay. So you get the permission to teach me that all, I will teach you that. If you wanted to understand all those, and there is another advanced level course for SQL, which will have everything. Okay. Now let's talk about table. Tables. Okay. Name, age, department, let's say. Okay. Okay. Let's say something like that data. You have a lot of data. So this data you are seeing, or this table, you are seeing that it is in a row and column structure. Okay. So what is your column? This is your column. Name, age, and department. Rows, we have one row and two rows. So one and two. One first row is having Mukesh's information. Second row is having Athia's information. Okay. And one thing which is very important here, table name. We haven't talked about the table name, but let's say this is table T1. Okay. So we'll name this table as T1. Okay. Now everything is, you are visually seeing here, it actually stored into some memory. Okay. Somewhere in the memory, there is a lot of memory and some information is reserved. And this herein we have your T1 table. Okay. And in the T1 table, you have again name, age, and department like that. Okay. And your data is stored. Okay. So a name variable will be present in the memory. Okay. And in the name, there will be name stored, Mukesh, Athia. There will be another variable which is age, and age is of variable of which type? Numeric, quantitative. Okay. Where a lot of ages of the student is stored. And there is a department where department is a categorical variable. It has information stored. Give me a second. It has information stored regarding the departments. So everything is getting stored into the memory. Okay. Now, all this concept that we understood, let's keep this aside. Okay, and let's focus on the another aspect. Okay, what we require actually for a table. Okay, so there is something, a blank table, T1 table, where you have name, age, and department. So first of all, you will create a blank table which is having no information. Okay, and you have some data over there. Some data will be stored into it, like let's say comma separated data. Mukesh, age 21, department IT. Okay, Athia 22, sales. So this data is ready to be transported here. Okay, so you will put this data into these tables according to the column. Okay, so there are two aspects. Okay, there are two aspects. One is related to the structure of the data. Sorry, table. So there has to be a blank table which will have its structure. So just like you have a empty hostel. So a hostel might have two things. Uh, a building reserved for boys, a building reserved for girls. Okay, and in that hostel there should be a kitchen, there should be a play area, there should be washroom separated. Okay, so this is a blank hostel. Okay, structure is ready, so building is ready. Now what is the most important thing in a hostel? The students. So students become the data, and the empty hostel becomes your table structure. So compare it one by one. Okay, empty hostel, no one is living here. Okay, only building is ready for boys and girl, everything is ready. Kitchen is ready for separate boys and girl. There is a mess. Okay, mess could be a combined also. This is no requirement of making it different. Washrooms has to be different, restrooms for males and females. Okay, and you have different facilities for different okay, so everything is useless if there is no student inside that. Okay, so a table is useless unless and until this has the data. So when there is an empty table, okay, it can be considered like an empty hostel. Everything is ready, structure is ready, but there is no data inside it. Just like that, in an empty hostel, it is incomplete with the students. Okay, so when we are talking about making building, making the structure, okay, and we wanted to define that structure. Let's say in this hostel, this is how much of square feet, and you have to dedicate a living room and the rooms for that area into 75% area, and the rest of that area will be used for play area for the boys, and similarly for the girls you wanted to have 80% for the room occupancy. So what you are doing, you are actually defining the structure, okay, of the hostel. So similarly, when you do it for the table, like, hey, I wanted to make a table with 5 columns, where first column name will be name, second column name will be age, third column name will be department, and so on. And you also decide that what that particular column will hold information. So name will only hold the first name. Okay, age will only hold the age of the student, which is a number. Department will hold they're actually working. So similar like that. So when you define everything, that becomes your data definition language. Okay, when you communicate with the database that, hey database, I wanted to create a table T1 where the first column will be name, second column will be age, and age will store number, name will store alphanumeric, something like that. When you define everything, and that particular instructions that you give to the database to say all these things, to define all these things, then that language becomes data definition language. Okay. And when you start populating the data inside the empty tables, then that particular language through which you do that thing is called DML. Okay. So getting the students into the hostel, the kind of language that you will speak is also the DML. And let's say you wanted to throw all the students out, okay, or you wanted to select few students and remove them. So anything related with the students that you will do will be considered into data modification language, just like the example that I've given you. Okay, so if you wanted to do any operations with the insertion, deletion, okay, and modification of the data, it becomes DML command. And anything that you wanted to do with the table structure, you wanted to define it, you wanted to redefine it, or you wanted to rebuild it, then it becomes data definition language. Okay, so anything related with the green area, this green ink is DDL. Okay, and anything related with that blue is DML. Now, please give me an acknowledgement. Does this all make sense? The example as well as the concept. Only Nikita and Athia have given acknowledgement. Wakas. Thank you. Pooja, Divya, Mukesh. Okay, fine. Please do let me know in case you have any pinch of doubt also. Now let's study it. Okay, let's also study the same. Now look at the commands. Create, drop, alter, truncate. Okay, so let's see the definition. DDL changes the structure of the table, like creating a table, deleting a table, altering a table. Okay, so compare it with the example. Okay, we were making a hostel. So creating a hostel, deleting a hostel means that removing a hostel or changing the hostel. What you wanted to change in a hostel? So let's say you might wanted to change that the boys section or the girls section, or you wanted to increase the size of the rooms. This is also an alteration. Okay, so you can either alter that hostel, you can delete that hostel or remove that hostel, or entirely drop that idea of creating a hostel also. So anything related with the structure, okay, is called a definition of language. Okay. There is a second line. Okay. All the commands of DDL are auto committed. That it means permanently save all the changes in the database. Okay. I will explain you this with more better example of the same example, but I would explain you with more nuances. Okay. Like what can happen when you are setting a hostel? What can go wrong? Okay. If that particular real world scenario is clear to you, you will understand this programming language also very well. Now, what are the commands that you can do in changing the structure of a table? You can create the table. You can newly create a table. You can alter it. You can drop and truncate. Okay, so truncate is also one of a similar to the drop, but it's a little different. We will talk about that later. Now, let's see some of data manipulation or data modification language. So DML also use sometimes data modification and data manipulation. So manipulation, modification almost go with the same thing. And what are the DML commands? Insert, delete, update, And there is also one more called modify, which is not listed here, but it is there. Okay, I will explain in my examples. Okay, now what is a DML? DML stands for data manipulation. What is manipulation? Manipulation means modifications to the database. Now, what the modifications we are talking about? We are not talking about the modification with the table structure. We are talking about the modifications with the data. Okay, modification can also be possible in your table structure, and modifications are also possible in your data. But when we are talking only about the data, then we are talking about data manipulation language. Okay, so the way we are going to interact with the database, the lingo that we are going to follow, that it's coming into that DML commands. Okay, so you will not use any insert command for changing the structure of the table. No, it won't run. It will only insert the records into the table. You cannot use update command to update any table structure. No, it will only update the values or the data which is supposed to be entered into the table. Okay, delete command. Delete command will never work on the table structure, deleting something in the table structure. No, it will only delete the data that is supposed to be entered into the table. There is also one command which is not listed here called modify. It will not modify the table structure. It will only modify the data which is supposed to be entered into the table. Okay, is this clear to all? The basic difference between DDL and DML? Yes. That's great. Good acknowledgement. All good. Thank you. Now, see one by one. Okay. So what I want is to not only learn about the command, but practically do it and then learn it. Okay. So instead of learning the theoretical, we should directly jump on to doing the practical and understand from there. But before that, let me introduce you how we are going to learn SQL. Okay. We will use a lot of examples. Okay. So in what I have found that when you use multiple sets of example in order to understand some concept, then you understand it better. Okay. Instead of only one. Okay. Usually we have to make a balance. We have to strike a balance in understanding the examples. You should not use too many examples. It might lead to confusion. And you should not only stick to one example because it will not enrich your knowledge. You should try to learn with a balance of 2 to 3 examples. Okay. So one of the example that I talked to you is that hostel example. Okay. This was only to explain you on a surface level. Now, as we wanted to understand SQL, because SQL is that skill that is going to be used for your 75% of your jobs in the market. Okay, try to see on Google a typical job description for a data analyst or a data scientist. You will find in 75%, even 85% of the jobs, they will require one skill, that is SQL. Okay, and because it is most widely demanded, okay, so they expect the person to be at least industry ready, not theoretical ready. Okay, and you will find that in most of your YouTube tutorials, they actually teach well the concepts, but they make you ready for toy data sets. Okay, playing with your SQL just here a little. Okay, but in order to be industry ready, because ultimately you want the skills not to just build a portfolio, but to actually come into the job and do the job very well. Okay, so the knowledge that you are supposed to take from here, it's not only the functional knowledge, it's not only the basic functional knowledge, but also the industrial uh, I would say that working knowledge. Okay, and in order to gain that extra edge on the knowledge, you have to go with the case or case study, which is also very practical. Okay, and how we bring practicality in our learning? By focusing on robustness. Robust. And what is in the case of robustness and scalability? Okay, by using large database. Okay, we can wrap, we as a career trainers, we can wrap all these with using some toy data set in SQL, Excel. Okay, but we don't want you to do it because it's a 75% requirement of the jobs out there. So we always follow that approach which actually make you industry ready. And in industrial ready, to be industrial ready, you have to be have experience working on large database. When I say large database, it means not that only one table with 20 million records. No, it means that have 20 tables with even 20K records and with various errors and mistakes in that table. We deliberately wants to, we will deliberately have some errors in the data so that you will be able to learn those techniques to track them also. Because in future, when you will be going to your job, you should be able to have practice on the unstructured data. Okay, the challenges. Okay, so in order to map all these challenges, like bigger challenge, what I am going to do is to work on a database. I will work with you on a database. Okay, and that database name is Sakila. Okay, this is a database which is available widely on web. Okay, and this database has a lot of tables. Okay, and somewhere around 22 tables, I guess. Okay, sometimes it's 20, but it's like 22 tables with lot of different records. Okay, for example, uh, you you might be associated with some banks. Okay, you might have taken some personal loan, some home loan, or you might have taken some educational loan also. Okay, so for you as a person, let's say Mukesh is that, or let's say Ayush is the person. So for that Ayush, bank is keeping record of his loan and his debt. For an example, they know that how much frequently he pays and how much interest he is being carried upon. So they maintain a table for Ayush for all these three different loans. So these three different loans belong to the same person. That's why we call as relational database, because it is all related to Ayush. Okay, so in this case, we are going to take an example which will have 22 tables, and all these 22 tables are related. Some of them are very directly related, some of them are not very much directly related. Okay, so this database has to be in your computers, everyone. Okay. And this database is also known as by another name, which is, let me just choose a different thing. So, and schema. So you should get used to hear these two words interchangeably. Okay. Database, schema. Okay. So we are talking about the same thing. Now this schema of 22 tables has to be in your computers. Where in your computers? The one software that we downloaded yesterday. Okay, well, that all hard work, to and fro movement, lot of sharing. That that software is known as MySQL Workbench. Okay, and MySQL Workbench needs to have this. Yes, thank you. Yep, it is here. So if you're able to get that database or schema into it, then it's very good. Okay, but we will have that also. So this Sakila database is supposed to be in your workbench. Okay, that's why I installed it earlier, so that you should be ready to take in this database. Okay, workbench. Okay, so let me just show you. I even forgot my password. Yeah, no, I didn't forget. It's there. Now focus on this one. You will see that this is your workbench. Okay, this is the same thing that we installed earlier. So I will tell you the steps, but before that, I will also give you that schema. Okay, the schema or database. Okay, it has to be present in your computer so that you can bring into this workbench. So you can see that this is the Sakila database. Okay, in your case, you will only find the sys. Okay, I have 3 additional databases that I have created. Okay, one of them is Sakila. And in the Sakila database, you will find that there are tables, there are views, there are stored procedures, there are functions. So a lot of other things are there. Okay, so how many tables are there? Somewhere around 20, 22 tables, I guess, but I might be wrong. But the point is that you should have a lot of tables. Okay, let me just show you how many tables it has. Right now it is having 30 tables, but there are few additional tables that I've created. When you will get it, you will hardly get 20 or 22 tables. Okay, so let's just do the same process so that you can get the database. Okay, once you have this database, okay, we will be ready for doing practical things. Okay, and everything that we have talked so far, like DDL command, DML command, we will try to run those things. Okay, on the all these commands, we will be able to run it while using that database. I will help, Nikita, don't worry. Okay, with that, as I already told you, that our intention is to make you ready for the job or the interview at least. Okay, so there will be some questions. Okay, there will be some questions which you all will be doing in our 18 hour of class. Okay, where we have already spent uh, 3 hours of class, but still we whatever the time we have left for this curriculum, and I will not go with exact curriculum, like the hours of curriculum I can also expand if it required. Okay, you will find that there will be some sheets shared with you. I will share some Excel sheets with you. Okay, and this particular Excel sheet will have some questions, okay, which you will answer, and we will do some practice to do those same thing. And this is all related to the business case study. Okay, regarding this business case study, I will share some Excel sheets. I will share some JPEG files. I will share some database files. I will share some lot of other things. Okay. So there will be one by one, I will upload everything and you will follow my steps to be prepared for working on this case study, because it's a big case study. Okay. It's actually very practical. It will actually give you a very practical knowledge to be ahead in your interviews, ahead in your job. Okay. So preparation for this case study is also important. So you have to be ready and you have to be present in the classes so that you can prepare, at least stage the ground for learning. Okay. So there are a lot of questions we are going to cover. Okay. And questions in a business case study doesn't mean your simple questions. Questions in a business case study means the concerns of business. Okay. So ultimately, when you are acquiring these skills, you are actually going to be employable. You are going to be employed somewhere. Okay. As a data analyst, data scientist, and all these profiles that I'm talking about, they actually report to the management or to the business. Okay. So your ultimate goal will be to ultimate goal will be to be answerable to the business, and business has always concerns, has always questions. Okay. So we have tried to mimic all those questions from business into these questions or into this case study, which you are seeing here in the sheet 1 and sheet 2, like drill 1, drill 2. Okay. Some basic questions are there, something like that. So all these, like, basic questions are very basic. Drill 1 is a little hard, little complex, and drill 2 is also having some mix up, like hard questions, intermediate question, and basic questions. But the complexity level increases when you go down. Okay. So you can see that there are a lot of questions. They are exactly mimicking the business questions. You can see that a lot of questions are there. So they are the questions that a business can answer, business can ask you while you are on a job. Okay. And how you will do, we will do this with the help of this business case study. Okay. Only the domain and the subject will change, but the kind of question and the kind of technical queries that you will write will remain the same. So fundamental will remain the same, only the little details will change. Okay. When you are applying for the job or you're going into the job also, fundamentals will remain the same, and all those fundamentals we have tried to encapsulate it here in the business case study. Okay. So I guess you all are now have got the fairly good understanding of how we are going to approach this in future. Okay. So give me a few moment. I'm uploading things. Okay. So that you can get now. I will upload it in today's LMS. So I'm uploading for 981, the batch ending the 981. So I'm uploading in here, so you should be able to get it. Yeah, I'm uploading it. You will get it in a minute. It might take some time because it's a combination of files. It will have some zip file. It will have also some SQL files. So there is one file I have uploaded. I am uploading another file. Okay, so that you get one by one. I am also uploading on the another batch. Okay, fetch this file first of all, save it somewhere. Okay, and try to make a separate folder for SQL. Okay, do not mix it with your Python classes. Please do acknowledgement when you get it. Please do acknowledge you got it. Yes, I'm uploading the other ones also. That's great. That's good. So you might have got a diagram, JPEG file. Okay, so that is called the entity relationship diagram of this case study. Okay, we will understand this how important it is. Okay, another file that I'm uploading right now is a zip folder. I'm uploading it. I'm uploading it in the batch 990. this will be having the name of first SQL. Okay. So first SQL commands. It's uploaded for the batch ending 990. Okay, you should be able to get. Okay, so another file is also updated, which is really important. I'm uploading it one by one, all files. Please keep a tab on it. Yes, it's uploaded all. I've uploaded the questions, business case study. Okay, the diagram, and also one SQL query. Okay, now I will also upload. I will try to first of all give you an approach to download it by link. But if it doesn't work, then I want to provide in the LMS. Kindly refresh it. Nikita, kindly refresh your LMS because it sometimes takes time to process all different kind of extension of the file, so it doesn't appear at once. So that's why I'm doing it right in front of you, so that you can know you got all the files. That's fine. And now I'm going to upload the schema itself. No, we will do it parallelly. There will be some questions that I would request you to do it, but we will do it parallelly. So to understand how to solve a business case. Okay, I'm uploading again. I'm uploading a zip folder. So it's uploaded. Please go and check that. It's uploaded for 990. If it doesn't appear, then try to refresh it 2-3 times and it will appear. And now I'm uploading for 981. Okay, so please confirm that you have got the database. Okay, now we will install that database into your workbench. Please do acknowledge if you have got. Thank you for acknowledgement. You got it. Yes. Now I will share my screen. I will tell you some steps. Okay, follow those steps. Yes. So let's get started. Open your workbench. Okay. Open your workbench that we installed earlier. Okay. Once you open it, it will not ask for your password again. It will open it directly. Okay. Once it is there, you will be able to see a navigator on the left side, which will have the schema. Okay. You will have only sys. So how many of you are seeing only the sys on the navigator? Yeah. So you don't have, yeah, you don't have the Sakila database. Now, the one that you downloaded from the LMS, put it somewhere and unzip it. You should be able to unzip it. Okay. Once you unzip and you are ready, please do let me know. Yes. So Vishnu is ready. So you have all have got the file unzipped. So go to the LMS, download the Sakila database, that is the last one, and open, extract that particular zip file. Okay. And you should be all ready with the unzipped file. What about Pooja? Have you unzipped it all? Do you know how to unzip it? Yeah. When you're ready, then please do let me know. Okay. Now, for you to explain, for you all to explain, I will drop it. I will delete it from my system and I will do it again for you. Okay. Drop now. So you can see that in my computer, I'm also not seeing my Sakila database. Okay. Now, when you have already downloaded the file from LMS and unzipped it, okay, then you should be knowing the destination folder. You should be knowing the path of the file where you have unzipped it. Okay, where you do the extract all. So get that path ready. Get that path ready handy. Okay. And go to server and there is an option to data import. Go to server and go to this data import. Click on that data import. Okay. So as you can see that my system administrator is there. So my admin C drive is there. So whosoever is like have their own machine, they will get it. And there will be an option for import from self-contained file. There is an option for import from self-contained file and you will click on the three dots right behind the path, or you can type in the path. But I will say that click on three dots, go to that particular unzipped file. Okay. Okay. And go and select the data. Sorry, go and select this Sakila schema. Select that. Okay. And after that, you will see at the option bottom, there will be an option called start import. And for all of you, you wouldn't say that, you wouldn't find that button. So you will see this blue and white button. Click on that. You will get an option of start import. So when you get the start import option, please do acknowledge on the chat. If you don't, okay, then try to find it. Got it. What about others? So Nikita, in that case, I cannot help. So Pooja, you have missed all the steps. Okay. So it means for you have to repeat everything. Okay, go to the server and do start like data import. Okay, and from that import, go to the file destination and click on this self from self-contained. Yes, Ayush, click on that particular buttons you can see in the top. Okay, there will be an option of getting all these blue and white buttons on the top. If you can see my screen, click on in any of them, you will get it. You will get mostly by clicking on the middle one. You will get the start import button. So go to server. So Pooja, go to server and do the data import. Where were you when I was explaining you all that thing? Okay, go to server and do the data import. And when you will get this data import, there is an option for import from self-contained file. Once you do that, click on the file which is having Sakila schema. Okay, and do the import. Once that import is done, you will see a progress bar. Import completed. After that, go to file, open SQL script. There is an option for open SQL script. Go to the file and click on that data, Sakila-data, that particular script. Once that script is there, click on this button, which is run. You can see that besides save, there is a yellow colored button. Run this. Okay. Once it is run, then it's fine. Now go to that navigator and schema. Click refresh on this refresh button. You will see that there is a Sakila database into your navigator. Click on the tables. You will see some of the tables. Okay. Right click on that and do select rows. You will see that there will be a table. Okay. That shows that database is there in your workbench. Okay. So again, repeating the steps for who lagged. Okay. First of all, you have to pick up that LMS and download the Sakila database zip file. Unzip it and save that path. Okay. Now go to your SQL workbench. Go to server. Okay. Go to server. Click on data import. Okay. Go to server. Click on data import. There will be option for importing options. There will be option for import from self-contained file. Go to the path by clicking on the three dots. Select the Sakila-schema file and open it. Okay. And in the bottom, you will see the option of start import. Okay. So you will click on that start import. If you do not get the option of start import, go to the right top. You will see there will be some boxes. Okay. Click on the middle one and you will get to know the start import button. So once you do that, click on that start import, your job is done. So you will see a progress bar, import is completed. Now, the second step, go to the file, go to the fourth option, open SQL script. Okay. In the SQL script, you will select that file, which is Sakila-data. Open that file and just run this file. How to run this file? You will see an icon like this, lightning. Okay. And this particular button is known as execute. Okay. So you will execute this whole query. Okay. You will see that this is a query. You will execute it. And when you're done, go to the navigator under the schema and you will see a refresh button. Okay, here, if you can see my cursor, there will be a refresh button. Just refresh it and you will see that there is a Sakila database appearing. Okay, so how many of you are seeing the Sakila database? Ayush has done it. Aisha has done it. Okay, Wakas has done it. Vishnu has done it. Mukesh has done it. What about others? Only few people. Divya has done it. Divya, I've got your acknowledgement. Thanks for that. What about the other students? Matthew, Nikita, Prem, Pooja, Tilson, Tawfiq has left. Okay. Prem done. Thank you. Tilson done. Nikita, your PC got problem. No worries. Pooja, you have done. That's really wonderful. Okay. So I think everyone has the database. Okay. Now, once you have this database, you will be able to see that it has some tables. So in order to see how many tables are there, you will see the option Sakila and there is a I button. Okay, there is a I button. You can click on that and you will see that this is the information that you are getting, info. So how many tables it has? 23 table counts. What is the total size? 6.3 MB. What are the table names? You can see that table name, actor, address, category, city, country, and everything. What are the columns? You can see the columns. A lot of other things. Okay. So this is the database which is having 23 tables. Okay. And the one that I provided you in the LMS, the ER diagram, try to understand that diagram. Okay, I know that it won't be easy for you to interpret that at once without no background knowledge, but try to see that. Try to understand something from that. Okay, and in our next class, we will understand it thoroughly. Okay, and because we have already prepared for our business case study, okay, we have only prepared for our business case study. So preparation is done. Okay, so in the next class, what you will do is that you will open your Excel sheet that I have provided with the questions. You will open your SQL workbench side by side, and you will also open that image file that I have given you on the side by side. Three things has to be compulsory on your laptop: your workbench, your Excel sheet that I have provided with the questions list, and the third one is the image diagram. Okay, without these three things, you won't be able to learn, at least in my class. Okay, so please make sure that everything is ready. Okay, and guys, please rate the lectures. The ratings have been not been done. Rate accordingly. Okay, in case if you want any specific doubt, you wanted to clear anything that you was not able to because of the class, please contact your program manager. We will have a direct connection interaction. Okay. Thank you. So all done for today. Okay. So we'll meet the next class. Thank you, Wakas.